Hi everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to take you through repotting or potting up of your houseplants. Once you've had a plant for some time, you may begin to notice roots poking out of the drainage holes at the bottom of the pot, or sometimes even coming out of the soil at the top. These are pretty good signs that it's time to consider moving your plant to a larger pot. For anyone who's never done this before and is nervous about harming their precious plant, I absolutely understand. But don't worry, it's super simple, they're hardier than you think, and it's a really important part of keeping your plant healthy in the long term. Spring is a really great time of year to repot because the favourable growing conditions minimise any effects of transplant shock. However, if you're nice and careful, you can repot your houseplants at any time of the year. The first thing you're going to want to do is select your new pot. Now generally you want to aim for about 1 pot size up, as too much extra soil can hold on to excess water and can increase your risk of root rot. There is flexibility based on what you have available, but as a general rule, you don't want a size increase larger than about 50%. So this means you can go from a 10 centimetre pot, anything up to a 15, or a 20 centimetre, anything up to a 30. So today I'm going to be potting up this dwarf umbrella tree from a 12 centimetre pot to a 14 centimetre pot. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is position this over the pot just to minimise the mess. I'm going to just gently squeeze around the base of this pot just to loosen up the root ball and try and make it a bit easier to manoeuvre it out of the pot. So then I'm going to tip it up, I'm going to grab the base of the plant carefully but firmly, and I'm going to just wriggle its pot and gently prise it away from the plant. So that came out nice and easily. It doesn't always happen like that. If you are struggling and finding that you're having to pull quite a bit, you can just tap the base of the pot like that and usually let gravity do its work, and it should help you remove that previous pot. So this is a really good time to check the root ball of your plant. Make sure it's all looking nice and healthy, nice fresh white roots. This one's looking pretty good, so I'm just going to set it aside there for just a moment. Now when we put it in the new pot, we want it to sit only about a centimetre below the lip of the pot. So I'm going to take just some premium potting mix and pop it in the bottom of the new pot. Shake it to make it nice and even, and I'm just going to see how that fits. So pop the new plant in there. So that's looking pretty good. So that is sitting just below the lip of the pot, which is where you want it to be. Too low in the pot and your soil is going to cover the above ground foliage of the plant, which could cause rotting, isn't good for it. Too high in the pot and you're going to have exposed roots, which are going to dry out. It's also not going to be good for the plant. So just below the lip is really good. You want it to be central in the pot, so check you're happy with the positioning, and when you are, hold it in place with one hand and just backfill around it with the rest of your potting mix. I like to just give it a bit of a shake and even a drop, just so that any air pockets get filled, and then you can continue to fill from the top any gaps. Now at this point you can gently push around the edges just to make sure that the plant is nice and sturdy in its pot. Don't push too hard because you can damage the roots, so just nice and gently, and then a final top up just to make sure that it's nice and level and the plant's where you want it to be. So I'm really happy with that. That's looking pretty good. So the next thing you're going to want to do is just give it a really generous watering in with a watering can, nice and gentle, just to make sure that it's nice and hydrated in its new potting mix and its new pot. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to leave any questions in the comments section below, and good luck with your repot.